Today we're going to look at a website called Symbaloo. And to get there, simply come into your browser bar and type symbaloo.com, and shortly you should arrive at the site. In order to use the site, you will have to create an account. They are free, they're very useful, and it's a great way, this particular program is a great way to share bookmarks with students or other staff members. It's a very visual way to do it, it's a very attractive way to do it, and easy to use. So let's take a look. Once you establish your account, just log in, and here we are. Now what you're looking at here is what's called a webmix, and Symbaloo is built around webmixes. So essentially it's just a screen with these tiles, and each of these tiles is a link out to a website, and you can obviously build these yourself. When you sign up for the account, a Symbaloo account, you get a home screen, which we're looking at now with links that they've given to you. And you also get an online screen, at least at this particular point, and that's another web mix where they've provided the links. Now, you can keep these here and use them, you can hide them, it's pretty much up to you. But your purpose here is going to be to create your own web links so that you can use them yourself and or share them with other people, including students, etc. Now I should let you know at this point that there's another version of the site, if you want to call it that, called Symbaloo EDU. And basically it's the exact same thing, except they provide you with a couple of extra web mixes when you start that are oriented towards education. So you can do that if you like, or you can do the regular Symbaloo. And by the way, you could also search out those web mixes and add them into the regular Symbaloo anyway. So it gives you a little more control, which is why I prefer, just the basic standard package. Okay, let's get started. If I wanted a new web mix, there are several ways to do it. We do have a menu over on the left. If I click this down arrow, I'm going to see my menu, and it says add a web mix over here. By the way, this menu will change depending on context. So depending on where you are and what you have selected, your options in here will change, and we'll be revisiting this menu, many times in the next couple of minutes. There's also a link right out here to create a web mix. So I'm going to click that one. And there are several ways to do it. On the left would be to add an empty web mix, which is what you would do if you were trying to build your own. And you would just type a name for it in there. I'll call this one Test Mix. And I could add it. And it would be as simple as that. I now have my web mix with my empty tiles. And I'm going to start to look for some websites to add to this. So I'm going to start with a couple of search engines. So I'm going to go to yahoo.com, and I'll open a tab while I'm waiting and go to google.com, of course. And maybe I'll go to Bing. And let's say so there's my Yahoo, my Google, my Bing, and in this case, let's see, I'll just use Google Images. I'll do two searches for Google. One will be Google Images. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this Yahoo address, come back to Symbaloo, and then click on one of the tiles. It opens up and I get the option to create a tile and then a place to plug in the address. So I'm just going to paste it in there with a Control V or a right click V, whichever you'd like to do. Notice that the default is website. If this was a RSS feed, I could pick news source if it was a radio station, etc. But most of them are going to be websites. Also down here it defaulted. It's seen Yahoo enough so that it knows that Yahoo is a good name to put on the tile. If you feel that it would benefit your viewers to see that name, then click the Show Text button over here, and you can see that's added to the tile. Now, the tile itself was chosen because it's a fairly common site, and symbaloo could figure out that that might be an icon that would represent the site. In other cases, that's not going to happen, and we'll show you how to deal with that at that time. Many of these tiles can be adjusted through the color scheme here, not all. But like here, if I click this, I can choose whether it be blue or brown, orange or pink. And I can also swap out the tile itself if I find another tile here. So it'll bring you to a box such as this. It'll make some suggestions. You can resize the box, place it, where you'd like, and use that selection. And now that has changed the tile over there. In addition, you might decide to choose an icon, and you can see that there are a number of icons that they provide you with, and each of these will give you a different set of icons. But if you don't want to use an icon, and if it hasn't located an image for you, you have two choices. You can simply go with a background color and a text, which is perfectly adequate. Or if you're really motivated, you can upload an image from your computer. So you can find an image that you think would best represent that site, download it to your computer, upload it here, and just as when you selected this option, it will let you do a little minor cropping and resizing on the fly. So if I save this, I now have my first tile created. And if I click on the tile, you can see that it opens up a new window and it brings me to that page. So let's go through that with a couple of the other sites. So I'm going to go to Google and just copy out that address, click on a tile, create a tile, paste it. When I hit enter or when I leave that box, now I don't particularly like that. That looks more like Google Calendar to me, but that's what the site guessed, so I think I'm going to change that. I am going to, see it says Google Agenda there. So let's delete that. So it says Google, show Google, and as a matter of fact, I might even change that to say Google Search. And then I'm going to have to maybe upload an image or do something else in order to make this work. So let's it's Google Chrome, so that's really not the best. Well, let me try it this way. I'll go to Google Images, I'll go to Google, and let's just say, better yet, I'll go to Google Search. Okay, this one looks good. I'm going to save that image, and I'll save it directly into downloads as Google One. Come back to Symbaloo, upload an image, choose the image. I'll find it here in my downloads folder. And upload. Now that one really, don't know if I love it, but I'm going to use it. Actually, I think I kind of like it. You select the tile. Either way, we're going to use that one. So that's Google Search. Let's get a quick one for Bing. Now if I do need to make a change, I can right click on it, and what I'm going to say is I'm just going to pick edit here. So whenever you want to get back into these, just right click on them, I'm going to show the text. Now this time I'm going to choose an icon, I think, just to speed things up. There we go. Not very Bingish, but it'll do for now. And the other one I think I was going to use was Google Images. So we'll just do. Just go there directly. Okay, I'll copy that address. Make my fourth tile. Okay. Okay, we'll just save that one as is. Okay, so that's basically how you create your tiles. Again, you can right click on them. I can edit this one and say, I just want to choose an icon instead. And now Google Search has the same icon as Bing does. There are some other options under right click. So you could open the tile, which is the same as clicking on it. You can edit it. You can copy or move it. So you could make a duplicate of it. And I guess that's best used if you're going to make a quick copy, save most of the parameters, and then maybe swap out a little bit of information. You can delete it. And then these are sharing and posting options that we're not really going to cover because I think probably best to share the entire webmix. There are a number of settings that apply to the entire webmix, and to get to those, go into this menu and then find your webmix and click the edit pencil to the right. The first is if you wanted to rename it. So this currently says test mix, but I'm going to call this Mr. S's resources and save that. Okay, we'll go back into edit and you'll notice that it's changed up here. I can change the wallpaper or the background. So I can take one of the ones that they gave. Okay, this one looks like it's going to be a mountain and a lake, which is very nice. Or I could upload an image of my own. Be forewarned that if you upload an image, it should be of a large size, because if it doesn't cover the entire screen, it will tile or repeat. So a small image would be very confusing because there would just be many, many copies of it. And you can always reset to default here. You can close these simply by clicking the arrow. You can see that the arrow has changed from a right pointing arrow to a down arrow. If you just click it, they'll close. This says to change the webmix icon. You may not have even noticed because there are no icons displayed here at the moment, but you could pick a color, you could pick an icon, and you'll see that will be displayed on the webmix. You can also remove it here. By default it doesn't have one, but if you want one, you can do it that way. And this is something you have to save. The next option is to make your webmix see-through, and you can see that it's kind of see-through already, and you can see the green it's turned on. If I turn it off, the opacity comes up a little bit. It's really not a major difference. I don't find this a particularly useful feature personally. And with that, we're going to deal with this new marker in another video. For right now, you've got the major settings for webmix, and we'll come back and finish up with another video.